Hey everyone. Last week I did a pretty standard team since it managed to win a tournament, but this week we're going to go a little crazy with an Electivire Tapu Koko team. If you're not familiar, the idea is that Koko uses Discharge to do a high parachance spread damage move that's boosted by Magnet and Electric Terrain, but it also procs Electivire's special ability called Motor Drive, and that gives it a speed boost and also makes it immune to electric attack, so it takes no damage from the Discharge. It can then use its huge base attack stat to launch terrain boosted Max Lightnings off, and also has Hailstorm to handle things like Landorus. This duo has an amazing Sun matchup, but it also struggles against a lot of common meta threats, so the rest of the team is here to cover those weaknesses. Full support Spectrier is here to disrupt, particularly Gigas and Metagross with Will-O-Wisp. We also have a super disruptive Grimmsnarl with Trick Full Incense to help with Coal, and as well as just Fake Tears to support our AV Celesteela. That Celesteela can handle the offensive side of the Metagross matchup, and it's a solid switch-in for our two poison-weak fairy types. And of course we have Landorus because of its amazing type synergy with his team. It handles the offensive side of the Cole matchup, it gives us Intimidate, it's a switch-in for ground attacks aimed at our electric types, it can fire off EQs next to Celesteela, and it's immune to Discharge. This is the same Lum set as last week, by the way, just nothing else fit. Anyway, let's play a couple games and see how this stacks up. Okay, we found our opponent. Danielle, ranked 1700. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see how we can handle this. What do we have here? Okay, so this is the Electivire Koko video, so I'd really like to bring that pair out. At a glance, it seems like they could work. We've got ground coverage for Ensign, and ice for Boom and Zapdos, but there's still a few things making me hesitant here. Obviously you've got Intimidate from Ensign, and Swampert is a switch-in for our electric moves, so also Clef is physically defensive, so I really like bringing Celesteela and Grimmsnarl instead. We can just show off that opener. Celesteela's got at least neutral coverage into pretty much everything here, and it's got AV to help against Zapdos. As for the back, I kind of like Lando. There are 3 bulky physical attackers on this team that we can just cut their attack with Intimidate. And then for the last slot, let's say Koko. That can disrupt Rillaboom's terrain, which will be really helpful. Big thing to remember with these gimmick teams is that you can't always bring the combo you want to show off to every game. Hopefully we get to show off how Celesteela covers Electivire's weak matchups, though. Alright, let's see how Danielle led. Swampert and Ensign. Okay. Right off the bat, I'm really happy we didn't lead with our electric duo here. They would have just been intimidated and walled right off the bat. Okay, so Ensign is probably going to click Fake Out into Grim. It should outspeed us. They generally always do. So I think the right move here is just to swap it out for Lando and get an Intimidate off into Swampert. And, you know, I'm not really sure what Swampert's going to do, but we're just going to bank on Intimidate neutering that, and then we can put a... Yeah, we could either set up a speed boost, or we can just Rockfall Ensign. I really kind of like the Rockfall. It may not necessarily kill if that thing is specially invested or if it has AV, but otherwise, yeah, a quick KO would be amazing. If not, just chip into it. Yeah, Rockfall. Let's go. Okay, so right off the bat, I don't think they did a switch since Grim should be outsped by both of those two. So we get our Intimidate off fine. And of course, no surprise Ensign Max or something like that. Would have been really nice if one of them maxed, actually. Okay, and we call the Fake Out. That's also nice. So now we just need to see how much this Rockfall does. Okay, pretty solid. You know, would have liked to kill, but we are AV, so I need to be just used to the fact that we won't be doing amazing damage without any boosts. And they're bulky berry too. Okay, so that's not really great. We kind of wasted our first max turn here. Oh, and Yawn. That's right. That really is Swampert's main tool. I should have seen that one coming, to be honest. I guess we should have swapped. Anyway, this is not a great start. So on the bright side, we are running Lumlando, though. I would guess they're going to yawn into the other slot now, and they wouldn't know that we will just recover from the sleep immediately. So we can just set up with Swords Dance. Worst case is we take a parting shot. I'm worried about that Zapdos that they have in the back. And I think we also need to use our last Awake max turn to set up an Airstream. If they do have that Zapdos, then we're going to need Lando to be faster than it. And what are they swapping Incent for? Clef. You know, that's actually great. We'll do neutral damage with this Airstream. And I can't imagine Swampert's going to do much to us here. Yeah, over 50%. And like I said, Clefairies tend to run physically defensive spreads. So yeah, that is unsurprising. And yep, they yawn with Swampert. So complete waste of their turn there, but they don't know it, and they won't know it till next turn. So yeah, there's the sleep. That's unfortunate. We're going to lose our last max turn. But honestly, they have no pressure into us. They're at -1 attack. Clef isn't doing anything. And we're going to need more than +2 to kill that Zapdos, assuming it maxes. So I see no reason not to just greed and go for another Swords Dance. Celesteela hasn't taken its sleep turn yet, so I guess it doesn't matter what I click there. And they're withdrawing Swampert just for Zapdos. Okay, it's actually, I guess it's nice that they're not putting out Incent for the -1. And they protect Clef. Okay, so they probably thought we were going to EQ, and that kind of makes sense since they think we're going to go to sleep, and we'd want to get one last big attack off with our +2. But we don't care about it, so we're just going to go up to +4 now. There's our mandatory sleep turn, and here comes our Lumberry. Nice. Okay, so definitely Rock Slide. We're just going to be banking on that connecting. And then with Celesteela, I kind of like Flash Cannon because it would cover Clef. But I think we just have to bank on Rock Slide hitting here. And because it's spread damage, I don't think it's going to kill, so we just need to put a Flamethrower. That's our only neutral damage into Zapdos, so I think Flamethrower into Zapdos is the right move here. We are banking on RNG, but we're already going to have to since we're asleep, and we're banking on that one turn wake up. Yep, here comes the max, and that's absolutely the right play, right? Because both of our Mons outspeed that Zapdos, and if they don't max, then the Rock Slide absolutely will OHKO it. So now, two things here. They go for Helping Hand, so whatever they hit is going to die. How much does Rock Slide do? It does double connect, that's amazing. And it kills Clef. It doesn't take out the Zapdos. And, you know, I wasn't thinking, but Friend Guard probably helped it there as well, in addition to spread damage. Celesteela wakes up, though. That's amazing. Okay, so we're still in this. That Airstream, yeah, it's going to kill Landorus. We didn't have a chance there, but Lando did what it needed to do. It would be better if it had managed to pick up a kill, but we are absolutely in this game now. Alright, so Koko could do the damage, but it's not going to outspeed Zapdos anymore, thanks to that Airstream boost. So I think Grim is going to be the play here. We have Fake Out, we have Prankster stuff. But they've got Incent, right? Okay, this really isn't great. They can Fake Out Grim, and they're faster than Grim too, so there's no chance of us just putting that chip onto Zapdos. You know, I think we just have to double. If they're smart, they'll Fake Out with Incin, but they don't necessarily know that our Celesteela is AV. And even with AV, I don't know that we live a Flare. I think we do just double in. What I'm predicting, though, is that Incin would fake out Grim, and they'll just flare with Zapdos, so we're just going to have to bank on AV letting us live that flare. Here comes the fake out into Grim. Okay, so we have a chance now. Completely depends on whether this Life Orb flare can kill our AV Celesteela, and it doesn't. We beat that up. Amazing. So we're going to get our Flamethrower off in the sun. It didn't need that boost to take that little bit of chip out, but great. Zapdos goes down. And we get the Beast Boost. Okay, so absolutely incredible. So they have Swampert in the back now. And what do we have in the back? We have Koko. That Incin is still heavily damaged from the first turn that we put the Rockfall into it. So our win con here has got to be just to take out that Swampert. We don't have Protect on Celesteela since it's AV, so we just have to bank on Swampert not having Protect and go for the Fake Tears play. Also, even at -3, Swamperts tend to be pretty bulky, so I'm hesitant about using one of our 100 accuracy moves. I think we just got to bank on the neutral Air Slash, even though it isn't perfect accuracy. Yeah. So, much like the Rock Slide, we just have to cross our fingers here. No Protect. That's huge. And Air Slash connects. Amazing. Okay. We get the Oko. This Beast Boost doesn't matter. They've almost certainly targeted Celesteela with Flare Blitz here. But much like Lando, Celesteela did its job. Now we can just bring in Koko and clean up. With the Electric Surge, yeah, it doesn't really matter. This Incin could even be AV. We're just going to double into it here. Spirit Break should be neutral damage, so there's no point in using the slightly more powerful Discharge. We'll just Volt Switch in Spirit Break. I would think this would just pick up the KO by itself, but 1 HP. Okay. But the Flare Blitz is going to do chip into it, so yeah, the game is absolutely over. And Koko even lives. What a champ. I will say, though, we were incredibly lucky in this game, just with the sleep turn wake up. Great game to my opponent. In retrospect, if we wanted to play this better, I think the right move would have been to double swap. We could have had Lum on Lando and Electric Terrain to get rid of the sleep, and we really just should have seen the yawn coming from Swampert, since that's just kind of what it does. Anyway, we got a win with the alternative mode. Let's see if we can get one with Electivire next. Okay, we found our next opponent. Oh, rank 156 Japanese player. Okay, this could be scary. With that said, this team looks like it's really a really good matchup for Electivire and Koko. We mess up Amoonguss and Lele with our terrain. We've got super effective damage into Celesteela. That might be a water Urshifu for all we know. With that said, I'm a little worried about Polt Urshi here. Polt will outspeed Koko, so I think our better option here is to go passive and lead Spec Grimmsnarl. If they do an Airstream and a Wicked Blow, they can just completely end Koko before it gets up its discharge. So instead, we can just bring our Electric duo in the back, and hopefully they can just mop up after Spectrier and Grimmsnarl do enough disruption. Between Trick, Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, we have stuff for pretty much everything on this team. So yeah, let's just hope that we can do something big with Grimmspec. How did you lead? P2 Amoonguss. Okay, so that's not the worst. It's actually great. We have Taunt and Fake Out right here. How do we want to distribute these moves is the thing. We could Taunt Amoonguss and Fake Out P2. That does seem like the play. Because because then we can just taunt P2 the next turn. But if they protect with Amoonguss, then they can just Rage Powder Trick Room the next turn. So in that case, we can just fake out Amoonguss and taunt P2. Yeah, that's going to be the play. Oh, swapping P2. Okay, they might have seen this coming. Yeah, it's Lele. Shoot. Okay, that Psychic Terrain really ruins everything. Lele's going to stop the fake out, which means we're going to get hit by Spore. Fingers crossed that's not the case, but I think our opponent just read us perfectly. Yep, and there goes the taunt into a Lele that might not even have any status moves. Yep, Spore. I cannot believe we got Spored on a team with electric terrain. But here we are. Alright, I really don't like the idea of banking on an early wake up like last game, so we could, we can still cancel their terrain though. What if we trick Lele? That'll make it slow. That thing is really frail, so a slow Lele is nice for us, and then we can just cancel the terrain with Koko. That'll stop any more spores coming out, and it will allow us to do priority moves onto it. Okay, we got our trick off. So that's a solid start. What do we get out of this now? Oh, no. Choice Scarf. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of Lele's carry choice items because their terrain protects them from fake out. But at least we called the Spore, right? Okay, so that's something of a win. So what we could do now, we could attack with Spirit Break to lower Lele's special attack. Or we could trick the Scarf away. The problem is Koko's going down this turn, though, so what I actually kind of like doing, this is risky, but we can swap in Electivire and use our Discharge, maybe fish for some Paras, and we can proc our Motor Drive so that we just have speed control for the rest of the game. Unless they get Trick Room up, and our Spectre is asleep, so that might not have been the best play, actually. They do protect Amoonguss, though, so tricking the Scarf onto Amoonguss, they must have read that as the obvious play. We do get our Discharge off, though, so Motor Drive up for Electivire. Do we get the Para onto Lele? That'll be really nice. No dice. Okay, so Dazzling Gleam takes out Koko and does almost 50% to Electivire. I don't love this. Okay, I think at this point we've got to make a read. I don't like bringing Grimmsnarl out because it's just going to die to another Gleam, so we've got to just bank on another one-turn sleep. Not even that, though, because Spectre hasn't even taken one turn of sleep yet, so yeah, okay, we need to make a read. The obvious play on their part is Rage Powder with Amoonguss, right? But if they look at Pikalytics, which they're a good player, they probably would when they see a weird mon. They'll know I have Hailstorm. Ice Punch is top of the usage, so I think we can go for a Quake here. If they're going Trick Room, I think the only Trick Room attacker they had was Celesteela, and they had P2, so if we can get some special defense boosts stacked up, then that'll be amazing. And then, you know, Spectre hasn't even taken its turn, so what we choose there doesn't care. And they do switch. Okay. That's huge. P2 comes out. And they trace. That's also a big deal, though. So what happened just there is that they traced our Motor Drive, and Motor Drive doesn't just give you a speed boost when you get hit by electric attacks, it also makes you immune to electric attacks. And Electivire's main source of damage, like its biggest output, is Max Lightning on terrain. So we are not going to be able to do much into that P2. But we at least get our Quake off. Okay, so this is still much better than it could be. We have a Spadef boost, we've killed that Lele, and now Spectre is going to take its one mandatory sleep turn. Question is what they bring in now. It'll either be the Amoonguss or whatever their fourth is, which I would guess is Celesteela, since they need some max target. and everything else on their team was fast. Yeah, okay, here's the Amoonguss. I think we just need to go with the obvious play here, to be honest. They're probably going to bank on Spectre staying asleep, so they're just going to... Yeah, let's bank on Rage Powder Trick Room. In theory, Spectre can wake up here, so go for the taunt and cross our fingers. Rage Powder, okay, so we called that. I think this should be an Oko. We have Life Orb and we're physical. Amoongus's tend to run specially defensive spreads. We're going to see in a second here, though. Great, they're gone. If they had Sash, we would have killed them with the Hailstorm, but it's actually... If we wake up, then I'm really glad they didn't have it, though, because it would have still eaten the taunt. Do we wake up? We do. Yes! Okay, alright. That is the second game in a row that we've gotten a one-turn sleep, but I will absolutely take that. So now all they have is their 4th Mon. They've pretty much got to max that or P2 at this point. And it's Celesteela. All right, this is amazing. All right, so at this point, we could try to predict Max Guard, but I don't think there's any point. Let's just put Max Lightning into it, because we can just... yeah, I think the right move here is to Snarl. P2 should not be able to kill Electivire, but barring a crit, the Snarl should make it so it absolutely can't. I guess they could max... Yeah, they can't Trick Room because we just taunted them, so yeah. Even if they Max Guard here, we can just Wild Charge the following turn. It isn't quite as powerful as Max Lightning, but it's still very high base power. We'll just take recoil damage, but it won't matter. That on terrain should do the trick. And they could even be AV Celesteela, though, and looks like they might be. Max Lightning, yes. It didn't kill, though. Celesteela is a tank. Luckily, Snarl or Hail were going to do the trick anyway. And at this point, it's their P2 against the world. Not quite the world, 3 Mons. They did manage to take out 1. But we can just keep on Snarling it, and it'll never get to Trick Room or Recover because we have Taunt. And we get that Grimnay boost that actually turned out amazing with Electivire missing the KO by just a little bit. So at this point, I think we just Snarl and attack until the end of time, until the taunt runs out, and then we'll undo that. They might even only have Tri-Attack. That's all we've seen from them, so if that's the case, then Spectre absolutely walls them. Just attack and Snarl. Now, I guess we technically should have Ice Punched for freeze chances, but yeah, it doesn't matter. They forfeit. Great game to my opponent. Honestly, they read us completely turn 1, and we got very lucky with the 1-turn wake up, but we'll absolutely take it. Electivire got a big win against a top-ranked team. Hope you enjoyed the video, everyone. As always, the rental code is at the beginning of the video and in the description. I'm actually at the point where I've run out of rental slots, so I'll be replacing the teams with the least engagement. This time it was the Ho-Oh Sun team. Every time I do this, I'll leave the paste in the description instead, but remember to rent these teams quickly if you want to play them, because I'll be sharing a new team every week. Until next time.